here. And what an episode we have for you today. It's going to be hard to beat yesterday's, though. Holy crap. If you missed yesterday's episode, you got to watch it on the replay. It's on YouTube and Facebook. It'll be up for another 48 hours. It is absolutely insane. I don't know if I've ever laughed that hard in my life. I was crying laughing during the back half of that episode. Anyway, hell of a day today. We're very excited to have you here with us. And please welcome now one of our other hosts. You know him, you love him, Mr. Ben Glebe.
Hello, Isolation Nation. Thank you for being with us. Thank you, Steve, for that incredible introduction. I will send you a gift card later. Really appreciate the kind words. It's great to be here with all of you. Our sponsor today is McDonald's. During a time when you can just go outside and die, at least we kill you slowly.
Is that the copy they provided?
That is the copy. That's the approved copy. Use promo code Fuck My Arteries for 10% off a Big Mac. Got a new sponsor. That's exciting. And what's even more exciting is the ability to introduce our third leg of the tripod that makes up the quarantine with two brand new credits as of today. We told you yesterday his stand-up album Unpopular Opinions dropped yesterday. Today we can tell you he is the #1 selling comedian on Amazon and iTunes comedy in the world. Chris Bowers, everybody.
Yay! Thanks so much. Holy cow. I am celebrating today. #1 on both those. That's you guys. That's just from you guys. So thank you so much for buying the album. What's crazy is you don't even have to buy albums anymore because you can just put it on Amazon Prime or on Apple Music, but you bought it. So I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. We are #1 for today. If we do it tomorrow, that will be impressive. So, you know.
I would stop telling people that, Bowers. They do have to.
I don't want to think I'm tricking them. So I really appreciate the support. Thanks so much. And if we can do this for 2 days in a row, then we'll really be saying something. So if you haven't bought yet, bowersalbum.com, check that out. And I'm super excited for today's guest. I'm real pumped for this one. It's going to be a good time, guys. I'm excited. Let's do this.
Yeah, Bowers actually wore his best waiter's jacket, and we appreciate a lot of servers are out of work, so that's his shout out to all of them. So thanks for doing that. And before we introduce our comedians and our guests today, just some shout outs to our video audience. We got got a bunch of people joining us here in our front row, our live video audience. We've got Angie, we've got Carrie, we've got a different Carrie, we've got To the Rescue is back, we've got Eric, we've got Trevor Pennick is back with us again. That's fun. And we also have Superman, the actual Superman. That's
I don't know if you can.
Not someone who's just named Superman, but Superman himself, which is nice. I feel like he could be of use elsewhere these days, but we're happy to
no place I'd rather be, Steve. No place I'd rather be.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And of course, as always, if you want to join in on the show and you're watching us, whether you're watching us on Twitch or Facebook or YouTube, join on in. You could throw a comment in there, and we'll see it. But we will definitely see it if you Venmo us or you PayPal us or you Super Chat us. So on YouTube, Super Chat, of course. On if you're watching on Twitch or on Facebook, you can throw in some stars. But you could also Venmo us, top right of the screen, and you could PayPal laughfromhome.com. Also, laughfromhome.com is where you can see how to get tickets for the front row. And with that, it is time for our special guest. I'm so excited about this because he is not just a fellow Queens boy. He is a fellow Briarwood boy. We grew up in the same neighborhood, went to the same school, went to the same synagogue. It's kind of ridiculous. Ladies and gentlemen, super talented, fantastic actor, IMDb 1,000,000 miles long. One of his most iconic roles was in Wings, one of the stars of Wings. We're so excited to have him here.
Wait, before you say his name, there's more credits. He needs to be built up more. NCIS New Orleans. I mean, come on, people. Marvel, Rising, Initiation. You saw him on Mom. 6 episodes of Mom, everybody. I mean, Ballers. You know him from Ballers. You know him from 13 Reasons Why. Get Shorty, the series. All right, go ahead, Steve.
Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, which is one of my favorite shows of all time. Studio 60 on Sunset Strip is one of the best shows of all time.
Yeah.
You know what?
Ah,
why
I
don't
love
we
that
just
show.
why don't we just not have him on and we'll just read his bio? I think that'll be better, right?
I like that.
Gentlemen, please welcome the very talented Mr. Steven Weber, everybody. Steven Weber. I think his camera just froze. Did his
Oh, it
camera
was great
freeze?
having him on. It was really nice having him
Yeah.
on.
So nice having him on. All right, let's take a look and hopefully his
He used his wings and flew away.
Hi,
there it
I'm
is.
here now.
All right, he's
Yay!
back, but he's sideways. Yeah, we can hear
You
you.
hear me?
We can hear you, but it went sideways. I think your phone's unlocked. Zoom is such a great technology. When it'll be so great when they finish
There
it.
you are.
There we go.
When they finish
Yeah.
it.
Anyway, so Steven, you have a number of iconic roles. I'm curious in terms of kind of what I just did there when I was like, hey, you know him from Wings, but people know you from a lot of different places. Is there one that you prefer they know you from?
Oh boy. I mean, I've been around so long that I've managed to kind of work in different genres, and so they have different demographics. So I'm happy just to be recognized enough to get a decent table at a restaurant, but it makes no difference to me. Really. I do get particularly chuffed if somebody likes the audiobook I did of Stephen King's It. And that my favorite thing that I did, and that's about it. But look, I'm filled with gratitude that I've been able to go past my expiration date.
That's awesome.
And-
I'd imagine it's harder. It's a lot harder to get a decent table at a restaurant these days. But
No, it's in fact it's incredibly easy.
If you're a celebrity, they'll give you a table and a COVID test. No
know,
questions
just feel
asked.
it.
No big deal.
yeah.
Gary M in our audience loved that book, by the
That's
way.
right.
Steven, how's your quarantine been going? What's quarantine life for you like?
I think he froze again.
Or
No, well, I have to warn you. Can you hear me? Because it sounds
Yep.
like the signal. It sounds like somebody's like shuffling electronic cards. It's like, or they fell into a pile of accordions or something, and it has that weird kind of boink, 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 boink.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
just
So-
that's just our opening theme song.
That's
just,
beautiful. Kids with your electronic music.
We just shove each other into accordions the whole show.
We hear you, no
Yes.
problem.
Yeah.
All right, great.
So what's your
sorry.
quarantine life been like so far?
I mean, it vacillates between acceptance and kind of strength to existential dread. I mean, a couple of people that I know have died, and that's frightening. I know people who are at risk, and yet I myself am living in a part of the country, in California, where there's sufficient room to roam, and I don't feel hemmed in. But I and members of my family are all observing the protocols. I can't stand the so-called president of this country, so that's, to me, worse than the actual disease. It's like having a hopelessly inept, drunken pilot in the cockpit. It's a nightmare for me, but and for a lot of people, I guess. But that aside, so far so good. I think we're going to get to this. We have to be hopeful.
So
That's
you're
about it, I
referring,
guess.
I believe that's called the Russian virus. But it is crazy that like the difference between where you happen to live, like how much that matters right now, because with New York, it's a lot about proximity. It's because the subway, because everybody was they're like, oh, it clings to surfaces, and you're just thinking about like how many times did I touch that subway pole. So like it is
right.
it is helpful to kind of live out here, and especially where you can take a car to work if you are one of the people who has to work. That helps a great deal as well.
Well, it's also, somebody said that they were, for the first time in their lives, grateful that LA has a crappy public transportation system, and that everybody is in their cars, so everybody's isolating anyway. It's one of the things that I sort of can't stand about LA, but it saved my life.
True.
Now
A lot of things that don't seem to come in handy in normal life come in very handy during a pandemic. It's one of God's great ironies. And
like, for instance, like McDonald's drive-thrus.
Like McDonald's drive-thrus. I'm glad that Steve is finally off the poll. I've been trying to get him off the poll for years. News right there. And as to the hopelessly inept leader, may I just add, he might be that, but he's the best hopelessly inept leader in the world. Right. And everybody tells him that. Everybody tells him.
He might be a narcissistic, ignorant, racist dope. But he's our narcissistic, ignorant, racist dope.
Right.
Right.
I love the people who are like, but you have to respect the office of the president. That's why I called Obama a communist Muslim. Like, what? That's
right.
What?
Right. And that's also why I love their big argument is that when people say not my president, they're like, he's your president too. I'm like, okay, you win that argument. Great. He's all of our presidents. Who does that make feel better? Not a person.
Yeah, of course, the big news, the big news today is that, Bernie Sanders dropped out of the race, which, ensures once and for all that what the fuck is happening. But, we're gonna go forward into the election, which I think is going to be held in 2022, right? I think that's when postponed until.
I think we're going to have an election, but I've been saying this for a minute. I also don't think Biden's going to get the nomination. Something's going to happen between now and August, and somebody's going to rise out of this and be the voice of this thing, and it's going to rally everybody. I'm really optimistic. And maybe Stephen Weber, maybe it's him, maybe it's your voice, Stephen, that can be the one that kind of brings us all together. But I think it may
Steve Harvey,
Cuomo, maybe Steve Harvey. I'm just saying somebody's going to come out of this and unite the country, and then they'll be the nominee and win, and it's going to be fun. That's my opinion right
now. Now, if it's Steve Harvey, by the way, whoever yelled that out, if it's Steve Harvey, that's like the one guy who will make it look like Trump is nice to women.
Tell us how you feel.
That's my job. Have you seen this stuff? It's ridiculous.
So I shouldn't have booked Steve Harvey for next week, Steve. I am so sorry. I'll have to call him right now and tell him he's not on the show.
Yeah, Steve Harvey's life hasn't changed much in this pandemic because he's constantly telling women to stay in the kitchen. So,
wow,
I'm kidding. He's great, like a 1950s campy kind of way. But
you just hate sparkly suits. This all makes sense now. You just hate sparkly suits, you dick.
I don't hate sparkly suits, but I do think it's weird that a guy who's known for being on the Kings of Comedy somehow has 1950s values. I don't understand how that happened. Anyway,
I want to say quickly as to the issue of Bernie Sanders dropping out. At least, I was very moved by his concession speech today. He had one passage that really resonated with me. He said, and I paraphrase, "I've been telling you about the danger of the 1% for a very long time, and I was right. If you have 1%, you cannot win the nomination." So that didn't
Oh, that's hilarious. Steve, I have a question for you. So, is all the shows you've been on, a lot of comedies, a lot of dramas. Is there a favorite line that you have that you've ever said on TV or a movie that really kind of was funny or dramatic or poignant that you really liked? Is there something that sticks in your head?
I mean, one of my favorite things that I did was an episode of a show called Party Down, which had, of course, Ken Marino and Jesus Christ, a lot of great people.
Stop it. Very hard to book Jesus Christ, so it's incredible.
I'm a little drunk. And it was a great show, Party Down, and it was I played a Russian gangster with a lazy eye, and it's actually my favorite thing that I've done. But I mean, I don't know. I guess I'll just say something else. I'm gonna die.
How do you act with a lazy eye? Did you create it, or was that a CGI eye?
I know. I took glue. I took kind of like eyelash glue, and I just kind of folded my eye down. And I'm at the age where if you hold it, it just stays and it just slowly. So that was it. That's how I affected it. No effects. Just old tactile gumption.
Nice.
Gumption.
And a little gum.
I have a Briarwood question for you, because my goal is to record my next special because a lot of it's about growing up. My goal is to record it in the auditorium of PS 117.
Wow! Oh my God, that's incredible.
Have you been back?
I have great memories of that growing up there. Can you hear me? And he's frozen with his mouth open.
It's the wait. You froze for a second. Have you been back to 117 at all?
Well, I actually took my 2 teenage sons back there a few years ago on a mugging tour because I was mugged. No, I'm not kidding. Throughout Queens, and that was just part 1. I didn't take them to Manhattan for part 2 of my mugging tour. God, I was mugged. I was mugged probably 7 or 8 times in Queens, and then about 5 times in Manhattan. And I was so, because I had a Jew fro and acne, and I was a mess. And I took my boys, and I said I was punched in the stomach. And you kept your money
loose, stapled to your shirt.
No, I was just a target. I don't know. I was just. Yeah, but I showed them. That's why I like Steve's comedy, because as I was talking before the show, the way he handles hecklers was the way I wish that I could have handled the people who beat the shit out of me. I mean, I would have been really witty and stuff. They still would have beaten me to a pulp, but
I first of all, I very much appreciate that, Stephen. But also, I will tell you, as someone who was like witty to his bullies, it didn't help. It was.
You mean to tell me that dumb people didn't like being made feel more dumb?
No, as it turns out.
The stupid people love.
Comedian destroys heckler from hospital bed.
Yeah. It's like comedian destroys heckler, and then heckler absolutely destroys comedian.
That'll never happen.
So have we so that said, let's take some chats. Queen Rachel is back with us taking some chats. Had a fun day yesterday. Oh, that's perfect. Ice cream. She is now eating the
chocolate China.
Nice.
Awesome.
Okay. Let's let Steven in on this.
On your boobs.
That is great.
You see how big I am?
Oh, that's so nice. You got China's boobs too.
So Stephen, to explain what's going on, and the people that weren't here yesterday or on Saturday. Saturday we had Chris Barnes from Harry Potter series on, and there was a question, and she pronounced Hermione Hermione, and the fans went crazy. So she took Sunday off. She was so she took Sunday off, and then Monday we didn't have a show. Then yesterday she came on yesterday. And the question was about Stone Cold Steve Austin. She called him Cold Stone Steve Austin. Which just started a deluge of wrestling puns using food and wrestler names. And it was super fun. In fact, that's going to be today's contest, which we'll announce in just a second. But Queen Rachel, do we have some super chats before we get to the contest?
We don't have super chats, but we have Chris McFeet. Chatted and said, Stephen was one of my first TV crushes growing up.
Aww.
So that's cute.
Yeah.
So great.
And then there's a lot of comments about my new boobs and stuff like that. So
you didn't think that was gonna happen? So we had some great ice cream wrestlers yesterday. We had Rocky Roadie Piper. We had CM Pumpkin Spice, Hulk Haagen-Dazs, Mint McMahon. We had a lot of fun with them. But what we're gonna do today for the contest is we're gonna do ice cream celebrity names in general. So it doesn't just have to be wrestlers, but it is ice cream celebrity names. Your best one. The way this works, anyone can submit. You can just throw it in the comments, and we'll read some of the best ones off. But if you throw in with $5 on a super chat or a Venmo or a PayPal, you're entered into the contest to win all of our hosts' albums, as well as a future spot right here on our front row. And we saw that we have a new front row person. Lena just joined us as well. So hello, Lena. And we will get to questions and comments from the front row as well. If you do have one, you can throw it in. We do have a I do want to go to the rescue for a second, one of our front row members here, because he is winning. He is wearing what won him this ticket. He's wearing the functional hypercolor shirt that he's still
yes.
color jeans.
Yeah, so you can kind of see it's a little yellow. It's hot in here.
Yeah. So, what colors does yours go between?
So this is kind of like a mustard yellow to a bright yellow for the shirt. And then this is a darker blue to a light blue for the jeans.
Yeah, that is. So basically, it's hyper shades on that one.
Yep. So
right.
That's just a light blue there. Yep.
That is amazing. I cannot believe that shit still works.
Very cool.
Outdated technology that lasts a couple years, and then that is that's what is that? That is probably older than half our viewers.
Probably about 92 or give or take.
Very impressive. We've got a couple of Venmos coming in already.
Steve, real quick thing before we do the Venmos, just a question that I probably should have discussed with you guys before the show, but just to open it up, I love that we opened it up to celebrity ice cream names, but we did so much ice cream yesterday. Are you open to making it celebrity food names so we can include all the wide range of enjoyable food?
I'd be okay with that.
I'm fine with that.
Great.
Like Jimmy Dean sausage?
It's,
Is that what you mean?
It's more of a pun-based game, Steve. You're right. You mean like Aunt Jemima Pancake? Like...
Yeah, people are just submitting, be like, you mean Paul Newman? Be like, yeah, it's Paul Newman.
Oh, man.
A bunch of insensitive jerks.
The insensitive jerk.
My signal's better
that's
now that you've moved on to another subject. My signal's better because I found a different place to be.
Your signal is much better. Much appreciated.
Isn't it? It's much better.
All right, excellent.
Now it's too late because you've moved on. So.
No, we're gonna get back. We're gonna get back to you.
Forget
anyway.
it. Forget it.
I have 11 more Steven Weber. I have 11 more Steven Weber questions ready, Steven. So.
All right.
Yeah. Which, by the way, Jennifer Kofit also just Venmoed us $5 and said, "OMFG, Rachel is the best in capital letters." So thank you, Jennifer. We agree, and that is why pronunciation and all, she is still our queen. All right, with that, so Bowers, since you do have 11 more Steven Weber questions, so go for it.
So Steve, my question is, and I'm a huge Sorkin guy. So being on Studio 60 with Sorkin dialogue, was that challenging as an actor? Was it just how'd that feel to you? Was it, because it's like word for word, right? You can't ad lib anything. You got to say the law in the right spot and everything. Is that correct?
That's it. I like questions that incorporate my answer completely. Yeah. Yes. Yes, it was challenging because there's most of the shows that I've done, I have a little latitude with the dialogue and the writer, as important as writers obviously are to generate content and everything else. No writer or few writers are as important as Aaron Sorkin is and certainly was then. And so it was our job to hit every, speak every word and act every ellipses and et cetera, et cetera. And it was challenging and great, actually. It's good to have a bunch of spoiled asshole actors have to buckle down and do some hard work for a change, because after a while, a lot of those actors, were living the high life, and this was hard. You you really had to have your shit together, because especially on those long walk-in talks, if you messed up, you had to go all the way back in front of everybody. So it was good. It was healthy.
I was about to ask about those. The idea, like, how much harder is it to deliver the lines while walking? Because that seems to be like a very Sorkin thing.
You know, I mean, I shouldn't have to say it's really hard to speak and walk, because generally it's not. The walk and talk is so iconic, especially in the Sorkin world. Everybody always refers to it, and everybody has their eyes on you. It's difficult. So the most intimidating thing was the fact that I'm doing a walk and talk. It'd be like if anybody here was suddenly, you know, on stage at, you know, Carnegie Hall. You know, you could do it, and it would be great, but you'd still be struck by the fact that you're in this, again, iconic place.
Well, I
Anybody
mean, we
know
have
what I'm
trouble.
How do
We
you?
have trouble talking and sitting down, so we very much appreciate those who can walk.
Oh, Steve.
I mean, we're not even. I mean, Bowers takes 8 tries just to get himself on frame. So like, we don't even know how to. Doesn't even know how to sit and not talk. So
How do you think, Stephen, it was possible for Aaron Sorkin to write such detailed, structured dialogue while high on mushrooms and acid? How is that done?
You know, ask Vincent Van Gogh how he did it. I mean,
he was drawing weird impressionist paintings. This guy's writing political dialogue and on point scripts.
I mean, look, let's not fight about this. Why are we fighting? Right? We really just did a whole segment on being bullied, and now this is exactly how this shit starts.
Also, give me your money.
Give me
your damn money, Stephen. I want your money.
Go fuck yourself.
Stephen,
the fact is, you must have watched yesterday's show.
Yeah.
No, the fact is that Aaron, I guess famously had issues with drugs and whatever else, but he's nothing if not productive. And some people produce arguably better when they're snorting a line of ants off the floor, which he never did. I just like that image.
By the way, Stephen, I just want to make sure so that you're comfortable. You are not the first guest to tell Ben to go fuck himself. You will not be the last. So with that, I think it's time for our first stand-up. Should we do some stand-up comedy right now?
I think we should. I think we should.
Yeah.
All right. So
Sorry, Chris, real quick, but let me introduce you to introduce our stand-up, because even just yesterday on the show, our co-host Chris Bowers told me to go fuck myself. So my esteemed #1 selling co-host, Chris Bowers, with a beautiful, beautiful jacket.
Yeah, Ben, if I didn't love Steven Weber already, I would love him right now just for fuck Ben. So, our first comic tonight is amazing. Seen her on Comedy Central. She was a contributor for the Weekend Update on SNL. And if you watched last week, she's also the reason that Tim McLaughlin doesn't have to live in a blanket fort anymore. It was very funny. Myka Fox, let me hear you. Myka Fox, everybody.
Hey, you guys. I would say I'm happy to be here, but I'm trapped in a studio apartment with Tim, and it's a suffocating nightmare. So, I'm not happy to be here, but we're gonna make the best of it. As you might have noticed last week, Tim is getting really fat. I don't know if any of you quarantine fatties are feeling this. I don't know if you can hear him screaming in the background. Like I said, I am in a studio apartment. My entire set's going to be devoted to what a huge pain in the ass he is. So he is. He started fat. Let's be honest, but this is really not helping. He spends all day on the bed watching me work, and he refuses to work out. Like, I'm doing like my 30 minutes of so I can say I did something. He won't do anything. I have figured out a way to trick him into working out, and this actually will work on any man for any exercise. Like, let's say you want him to do push-ups. All you have to do is do push-ups in front of him wrong. Every fucking time. They cannot help themselves. Cannot. Just, that's not how you do push-ups. You do it like this. Next, they're on the ground, pressing them out. I'm like, oh yeah, show me again. Show me like 20 or 30 more times every morning. How about next you show me how to make more money than me, you broke piece of shit. I do love them. That's what I say. I say it all the time. Very easy to say. And I have to, because there are some things you say on cocaine you can't take back. You gotta keep saying it, or you're a drug addict, I guess. And at this point, it's like I kind of have to stick with him, or it's that or my hand. Single guys are the worst anyway, right? Like every single guy, there's like just crazy shit out there. Like, I don't know what it is about me, but I just seem to be attracted to crazy girls or whatever. And it's like, no, man, maybe it's not that you're attracted to crazy girls. Maybe it's that you're attracted to hot girls, and the only hot girls who will talk to you are fucking crazy. Like I'm just gonna, I'll probably marry him. I can't take it. I was on like first dates, like, are the worst. Like every first date's the exact same, like how many siblings do you have? Where'd you go to college? It's like, I don't remember. Leave me alone. I was on this one first date and this guy's like hammering questions into me. It's like an interrogation. He's like, I got one. He's like, let's say you became pregnant. I'm like, no. Bad start. He's like, let's say you became pregnant and you found out your baby was going to be handicapped. Would you get an abortion? And I'm like, cool first date, thanks. But he was paying for the drinks, so I was like, I guess I'd get an abortion either way. Right? Like a baby doesn't need to be handicapped for me to not want it, right? Where are my chicken fingers? It's terrible out there. I was disappointed that Bernie pulled out, but there was like such a silver lining for me, because my last boyfriend was like this like weak sauce Dem socialist, like complete wank. And I just know that right now he's like punching a hole in a wall that he's too soft to be able to fix. So, there is a silver lining. What can I tell you guys? I'm from Arizona, so I've done cocaine with my dad. You guys, I don't even get cocaine's popularity. I haven't had fun the last 40 times I've done it. But I can't say no to it. You could offer me coke on a spinning bike tire and be like, I got it. It's coming back around. I didn't mean to do. In my overtime, I realized it takes so long with the. You guys are laughing so much. I don't, like just crushing this so hard that I can't tell. Like what's going on?
Fine.
Is it
You're fine.
Yeah, give us another one.
Finish the show. Okay, good. So I didn't mean to do coke with my dad. That was kind of a Thanksgiving miracle. I was home for the holiday, and I was snooping through my mom's old closet because my parents are divorced and she left a lot of really cool stuff behind. She was out in a real rush. So I'm looking around and I find this Coke mirror that hadn't been there before. And I know it was a Coke mirror because it was huge and it was covered in Coke. All right. So, but I make sure I test it, I start like doing gummers off of it. Like it's my last day in Los Angeles. I got half a Frasier spec script written. My dad shows up in the closet doorway and I'm like, oh no, I'm busted, right? And then I'm like, no, wait, like you're busted. You know, like you're the one who raised a daughter who's licking a cocaine mirror. And he's just like, oh, fuck, Myka, you like cocaine? And I had to be like, yeah, everybody does. And then he surprises me. He's like, well, do you want to do some? And I'm like, oh, no, just give me some. You know, like, like I'm not gonna do coke with my dad. That's fucking gross. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like, because you know when you're doing coke, like, you know when you're doing coke regular style, you're having conversations with people that you would never say if you were sober. You know, like you're going, like you're out yayed out at a bar alone, regular style, going up to people being like, hey, what's up? You know, I was a virgin when I graduated high school, and now I only fuck professional hockey players. So I'm like, oh, I can't be high on coke around my dad. Like the conversation could get so weird. I don't know what I'm gonna say or he's gonna say. He was like super insistent. He's like, the first round's free. I'm like, fine. So, you know, next thing you know, he and I are like raking lines on the poker table that counts as a dinner table when you're a divorced dad. And you know, the cocaine conversation happens. It's terrible, just like line after line, just like, fuck, remember mom? What the fuck was that about? Yo, we got to get the family back together. I think that'll do it for me. Thank you guys.
Yay!
If anyone has any coke, I'll test it for coronavirus for you for free.
First of all, hilarious set. The tip jar is open. If you want to tip Myka, all the money goes to her. Just specify that it's for her in the comments. That's how you tip. We've already got some coming in. Super chat on the YouTube. Of course, you can Venmo or PayPal. Venmo is top right of the screen, or you can PayPal laughfromhome.com. And I will say, Myka, during the first half of your set, I was like, I don't understand why she's dating Tim. And then during the second half of your set, I was like, I get it. So,
oh, that's flattering twice.
Mike, I love the joke about you like hot girls and only crazy hot girls will talk to you. That's a very, very funny joke. I really like that one a lot. That's
absolutely.
Did it strike home with you, Bowers?
Really did. No, it really did. I call it the hot cool quotient. You know, you got two numbers, a hot number and a cool number. So I'm a 16. I'm a 6 hot, 10 cool. And I can only get a 6.
Yeah, you win them over with math. Very cool and hot.
Oh my God. I bet you punch Tim in the dick when you fucking, don't you? That's so
I mean, you kind of gotta, you can only really get your thumb on there before you run out of space. Am I making fun of your tiny dick?
Got some tips already coming in. So we've got let's see, we've got Ellen Shaw threw in $10 and says for Myka. And then and also has some contest entries with it too, so a double one there. And then Elena Wee threw in $5 and says Myka Fox, amazing, all capital letters. Rachel, what do we got coming in on your end?
Yeah, so we've got some tips. We've got Heather Scott gave $5 and said, do you have any tips for getting someone to work out without working out yourself? That's more my style.
Well, like I said, you get to do the push-up wrong. So you only need to do one bad one. Can you handle one bad one?
Is that what Tim asked you when he picked you up at the bar?
Yeah.
Might already had 50 bad ones.
Yeah.
We also have Z Bunster tipped $15 and said, Myka, it's just not fair that I can't make words work enough to tell you how much I love this. Thanks.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, shit. The money works fine. That's my language.
Yeah, how else is she gonna pay rent in that stadium?
It's the electricity that really sinks me.
We had a comment on Facebook from Brad Fredrickson saying how he loved that he could hear Tim laugh in the background. And I think I saw some another one. Treat tipped $5 Myka, and then she gave a bunch of drink emojis to save your sanity.
Nice.
Oh, thank you.
Also
And then
got
$5 more from Helena Sutherland. She said she loved your set.
Also,
I love that it's all women. These men are pussies. Pony up, bitches.
fine, you gave their secrets away. Like, we do have one from a guy coming in. $250 from Tyler Stevens from Myka. That was great. So that came in on the Venmo. Thank you much, Tyler. I know regular supporters of the show. We much appreciate that. And then we've also got some generals coming in. Savannah Martin threw in 2856, very specific number, and said I come for Steve, but I stay for Bowers. So and then we've got a bunch of contest entries as well, and then some more coming in. There's I got the Rachel, you can see the Venmos too now. Because we
occasionally, like, they just flip up on my screen.
Okay, cool. So I'll read some more. So Dave Eisner threw in $18, and nice reference again, Dave. And then says for Myka's rehab fund and not for an 8-ball. So specifying that.
They have the best Coke in rehab.
Yeah. We've also got we've got so many comments coming in on the live video audience. Chrissy put in, all the Coke heads because they all subconsciously rubbed their nose after that joke. Also, Superman threw in a comment, Steven Weber, and then in all capital letters, best guest ever, with a bunch of exclamation points. So
yes,
yeah, thank you much, Superman. We agree. Rachel, do we have any more coming in?
We do. So Greg Smith tipped Myka $5 and said, for Myka calling us out. Sorry, Tim.
Do I hear 10?
Megan Smith threw in another $5 and said, Myka, great set. So it's really fun. I love the instant feedback of this. Like, stand-ups do comedy for instant feedback. And and the ability to get it through tips is great. I'm actually curious, Steven, if I could ask you, I don't know, I know you had muted your mic for a second there, but Steven, if I could ask you, since comics like live off that instant feedback, is it tough have you ever had something where you've performed it and you've been like, that was wonderful, and then it's like months later before it debuts and it gets panned, or the opposite, where you're just like, I didn't really feel great about that, and then everybody loves it?
I lost you again. No, I got it. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's often 6 weeks to months before I see anything that I've shot, and I usually mercifully forget what it is that I've done. I don't really like to watch myself anyway because I'm not that crazy about it. But then, if enough time passes and I happen to see it, I'm like, that's pretty funny. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Answer your question? Okay. I'm having such a great time with all you guys. It's so wonderful.
No, I think that, like, that's got to be nerve-wracking, though, to not know how it's received. How long was it, like, because you have kids, and so like how old were because your kids? I shouldn't say everyone's. If Tim and Myka do ever have kids, clearly it's not going to be them. But like most kids grow up to like worship their parents. Was there a moment where like how old were they before they realized like, oh, this is what Daddy does?
Take your time.
No,
He's
your
still
signal.
upset thinking about me and Tim having kids.
I didn't really hear the whole question. Was there a moment when what?
Was there a moment when, like, when your kids realize, like, oh, my father's on television, like this is like my dad's a celebrity, or have they never made that transition?
I took them to meet Mel Brooks because I'd done a movie with him a long time ago called Dracula Dead and Loving It, which isn't his worst film, but it's, you know, and there's some good stuff in it. And we went to an AFI tribute for him, and I took my boys, and I think they were about, I don't know, 10 and 12 or something like that. And they then made the connection at that point. And they looked up to me for about another year, and then they've been dismissing me roundly ever since. They really give a shit.
It's good you got the year in, though. That's important. You got the year.
I've been dining off that. Believe me, you'll see. If any of you ever have the guts to have children, okay, you'll see. It's both wonderful and horribly demeaning at the same time. This show.
I feel the exact same way, Stephen. I appreciate that.
You are fitting right in. That's perfect. Excellent. All right. With that, do we have any more chats, or we're gonna make Bowers do some stand-up?
We do. We have a couple generals that had come in before.
Okay.
We had Z's Bunster, $20. Queen Rachel for being a great sport. And then Divazu, $5 and just said hi from Australia.
Excellent. We appreciate you. Hello to Australia. We also had oh my God, Chrissy. Chrissy gave $2 and said $1 for every inch of Tim's dick. Holy shit. Excellent.
Tim, they're making fun of your dick again.
On the air. Of course we are. So then we also have $5 come in from Riley Antaria. Says, I'm sorry I can't do much more donation wise. Thank you for doing these streams. Honestly, been such a highlight and such a miserable time. Queen Rachel, you're amazing, word flubbing and all. We appreciate that, Riley, and we agree. So with that, let's do and then Jane Stewart throws in $10 and says, for Myka, who run the world, killing it. So nicely done. The ladies sticking together. So with that, let's do another stand-up set. You guys ready for that?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, this one is coming from one of our own. Ben, you want to do the honors?
Absolutely, I'd be excited to. I'm not excited, but I would be. I honestly am very excited to introduce our dear friend, a man who not only is a regular co-host on the Bob and Tom radio show, but is currently the holder of the #1 comedy album on Amazon and iTunes Comedy. Give a warm social distancing social club welcome to Chris Bowers, everybody.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Thanks so much.
Just move the mic stand.
I love comedy, guys. It's my favorite thing. That's why I'm so happy we're going to do this. But not everybody laughs at the same stuff. You know, like every group of guys has that one guy who I don't know if women even know this, that love to be naked around their friends just to fuck with them. And it's not sexual. They just think it's funny to make their friends uncomfortable with their dick. And it does. It makes me uncomfortable because I have a small penis. So 9 times out of 10, it hurts my feelings when I see somebody else's. And even when it doesn't, we're both still sad. It's not cool, right? But I've got a buddy named Joe. He's like this 6'8" monster. He was my roommate for a while. And one day he comes to my room. He's completely naked. He has one of my hats on his dick. I'm like, God damn it, Joey. That's disgusting. He's like, it's not disgusting. It's funny. I'm like, it's not fucking funny. Take my hat. I was so mad. I don't get mad. I was mad. So he leaves, comes back a couple minutes later, and he's still completely naked. But now he has my other roommate, Sarah's hat on his dick. And I'm like, you know what, Joey? When it's not your hat, it is pretty funny. And that's comedy, guys. Everything's funny until it's your hat. That's how it works. Yeah? And that's why we can't outlaw any joke premises. You know, people are like, because you might be able to laugh at a joke about a kid with a peanut allergy unless your kid has one. You might be able to laugh at a joke about the homeless unless you spent your entire life, you know, trying to solve that problem. And people say, well, just don't tell jokes about that. The problem is every hat belongs to somebody. I used to have this shitty joke on my act about how, am I breaking up? Really?
No, you're fine.
Then just send me a text. I used to have this joke. I do this dumb joke about how Hunt's ketchup was the Pepsi of ketchups, and if you went to a restaurant and saw Hunt's, you knew it sucked, right? And it was just a dumb joke. One day after a show, this woman comes up and she is livid, she is angry and offended because she was a fucking Hunt. And I'm not calling her a name. Her name was Kelly Hunt of the Hunt Ketchup Factory. And I know that we all believe that if we had a condiment named after us, our life would be perfect. But apparently that's not the case, man. Because she spent her whole life wishing she was a Heinz, and this is the last fucking straw. Right? Like her hat was ketchup, and I put my fucking dick in it, man. And she wasn't happy. So I guess what I'm saying is, during a comedy show, if you hear a joke that's your hat, realize the next joke isn't gonna be your hat, and give it a second. You know, because as an audience, we're all kind of making this deal where it's like, look, I'll let you laugh at my hat for a little bit if we can laugh at your hat for a little bit. And I'm not saying you should be able to laugh at your own hat. I don't think you physically can. You're too close to it. Just don't be a Hunt about it. Now, there are some advantages to the world right now. I want to talk a little bit about that because I'm a bright side guy. You know, I think one of the cool things coming out of this is telemedicine, right? Like doctors are now FaceTiming with their patients instead of making them come all the way to the office, which is cool, though I do feel bad for the urologist. Because now they have to decide if that picture they got is a new patient or just a regular dick pic, which has got to be hard, I'm imagining. And I'm assuming at some point the urologist has to say to the patient, like, hey, man, I really need to get a look at this thing. Could you go into a warmer room, please? Also, and on this, I think we need to stop worrying about getting murdered. You know, like every woman I know thinks the minute she leaves her house, you're not getting murdered, guys. Statistically, it's so small. I looked this up. In 2017, 15,000 people in the entire country, in the whole United States, were murdered. 47,000 people committed suicide. So you're 3 times more likely to kill yourself than you are to be murdered. So if you're at home by yourself, it's not the intruder you should be worried about. It's you. Now, out of those 15,000 murders, women are way more afraid of getting murdered than men. 12,000 men, 3,000 women. So men are 4 times more likely to get murdered than women. So ladies, if at night you have a man walk to your car, you're actually increasing your chances of getting murdered. What's crazy about that is that number is that out of those 47,000 suicides, men are 4 times more likely to kill themselves than women. But we attempt suicide at the same rate. But women use passive means. They take a pill, they'll cut themselves, and if we find them in time, we can save them. Where men shoot themselves in the head, and you can't come back from that. In fact, I don't know if you know this, but 80% of all suicides, which are 2/3 of all gun deaths, are white men. So liberals, if you truly think white men are the problem, guns are the solution. The only way to stop a bad guy with a gun is by making him sad. It's my time. Bowers Comedy, BowersAlbum.com. Buy my album. Put it on up.
Chris Bowers.
Thank you.
Bowers, everybody. Chris Bowers already getting some tips in. John Goodman threw in $5, says for the urologist. Much appreciated. And and of course, if you do want to support Bowers, don't just throw a tip in for the show. You could also buy his album. Keep that #1 spot. We're very proud of him. So nicely done, Bowers. I enjoyed it. And we also Superman said Bowers is the Aaron Sorkin of comedy, except he'd never walk that far, but he's got the talking part down.
So loved your set, Bowers. I loved your set. I also really hope you don't have a gun at home.
Yeah.
I do not for that specific reason, Ben.
Yeah. Rachel, what do we got coming in on the chat?
Yeah, so we've got Ashley Borden tipped Bowers $5 and said for Bowers, Eric wants to know why I keep spelling Toshlog out loud.
Hold on, we've had that story on the show before, but also can I just say that Rachel just pronounced that correctly? Things Toshlog, that's the one you get. But all right, we appreciate it.
Hey, Steve, it's Stephen Weber here. Do you mind if I just I don't mean to interrupt, but my connection is so crummy that I think I'm going to take my leave. It has nothing at all to do with the hilarious comedy and the great back and forth and everything that's going on. I'm enjoying being with you, young-ish people, but it's murder because like every time the signal kind of stutters, it sounds like it feels like it's a reel that comes undone and then has to catch up and everything. It's weird. So I think I'm going to take my leave if that's okay. I enjoyed being here with you. A huge fan of you and of yours and of most of the people that I saw tonight. And just thank you for having me. And let's talk more in the future when if I pay $10, maybe I'll get $10 more. I'll get a better signal.
Yeah,
maybe
absolutely. Stephen,
right.
Stephen, we appreciate you being here with us. You are both uniquely talented, and also unique in that you didn't leave during Bowers' set. So thank you so much for sticking around.
It's the joke I had loaded up. I just walked our celebrity guest. Are you serious?
It had almost nothing to do with you, Steve. Thanks.
Stephen, thank you so much for being here.
Thank
You're
you.
an excellent guest. We appreciate you coming and joining us. And stay safe and stay healthy out there.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. Don't tell me what to do, okay?
And that sounds like what I'm more used to. All right, thank you, Stephen. All right, excellent, thank you. And so let's keep reading some more chats coming in. So Tyler Stevens throws in 250 and says for Bowers, oh my god, that mic stand intro was fucking golden. Great set, love the dark humor. Yeah, moving that mic stand was I fucking died at that. Just the fucking empty mic stand. That was great.
So I'm a pro, Steve.
Yeah, the first thing you got to do is move the mic stand out of the way. Brad Fredrickson threw in $10.
I'm sorry to cut you off, Steve. I just really wanted to say I also totally enjoy. I just, got to run, really busy, but love the set.
By the way, Ben, that reference to. Wait, no, Ben's reference to Stephen was so spot on. It even included a spotty signal at the beginning of it. That was perfect.
Fuck yourself, Steve. Don't tell me about my signal, okay?
God.
Brad Fredrickson threw in $10, said for Bowers, loved it, man. You killed me. Ellen Shaw threw in $5. Says Bowers, thanks for the laughs and also the rather depressing statistics. That's how he picks people up with math. We learned that already. And we also had Ryan Tenbull sent in $20. So much appreciated that, much appreciated, Ryan. And we're getting a ton of contest entries. This is gonna be a lot of fun. Rachel, what do you got on your end?
Yep. So I've got Teely White had a comment. She said, "I wonder if a urologist saves the good dick pics to send out on Tinder."
Yeah.
That's a good strategy. That's a good strategy.
We had Z Bunster tip Chris Bowers $15. Chris, you're deeply twisted and funny. My favorite kind of human.
Awesome. Thank you.
We have Helena Sutherland $5. Bowers, you never fail to make me laugh.
Thank you.
Greg Smith $5 for Chris Bowers gun fund.
Oh my God, that's dark.
And then Heather Scott $5. Bow to Bowers, so twisted, I love it.
Excellent.
Thank you.
That is awesome. We appreciate all of that, and we're gonna throw to our live video audience here because To the Rescue has a question for says for the hosts and for Myka. What do you got?
Yep. So, I mean, I already talked once about having the ticket for Brian Regan, which I couldn't go to last month, but I also had tickets for Louis C.K. this month, which I also won't be able to see. So, looking at those two, very different type of comedians. What co-headliner show do you think would be very unique to have? You know, like Brian Regan and Louis C.K. in one show. Can you think of any other comedians that would kind of be complete opposites?
Probably the five. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I thought you were going to say you had tickets for Louis C.K. in 2014 and couldn't go, but whatever.
Yeah, I would say a bill of Louis C.K. and any of the 5 female comedians whose careers he ruined. You know, that would be a weird bill. And that might be a little awkward, kind of like your reaction to me doing that joke just now. But
Tickets so you couldn't go and he can't come. You know, it's a combo.
Hey, we're comics. We need an audience. That's how it works.
Oh my gosh! Holy shit!
the pandemic is proving how bad comics are if they don't have an audience. So that's what we figured out on this show: is you need an audience for this all to work. Because I don't think TV execs understand how laughs work. Because you know, you put laughs on a sitcom so dumb people know when to laugh. You put laughs in a comedy show so the comic doesn't commit suicide. Like, it's our air. We need it every second. We're like,
yeah. So what do you guys think? What would be a weird split bill? Like, just in terms of styles.
I would go Haywood Banks, Donnie Baker from our Midwest Bob and Tom people. That'd be a fucking hilarious show.
Yeah, but that would be like, but they have a similar fan base. I think it'd be really
No, they do not. Haywood is super clean, and Donnie's the dirtiest comic I've ever met. So like that would be what would be funny about it is Haywood's are all songs about puns, and Donnie Baker's all about fingering chicks in high school. And those two, like the audiences would clash. It'd be very funny to me.
Yeah.
How about
I think
wait, let
Myka.
Go, Myka.
Oh, sorry, Myka.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think the weirdest bill would be Cosby.
Have a great one. Bill Cosby, Hannibal Buress. That'd be a fantastic show.
Or just Bill Cosby from Folsom Prison.
Yeah. Did you see the thing while in prison? He was wearing like he was wearing like some white robe and trying to like diagnose people as if he was Heathcliff Huxtable.
No way, really?
Totally real. And like my takeaway from that story wasn't just that, oh, he's completely lost it. It's that, like, where the fuck did he get the coat?
The commissary had a Cosby sweater for 8 packs of cigarettes.
Yeah.
I have tickets for an upcoming show when the pandemic is over. It's for September. It's Dane Cook opening for Stephen Wright.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. That said, let's go to some more chats. What do we got?
Yeah, so I have got a lot of contest entries. I can't wait. We had a couple generals. It was for Steven, but he'd already left. But Nathaniel Crawford, $10, and said, Steve Weber, I'm so sorry I didn't know that you were in Dracula Dead and loving it. It may not have been the best of Brooks' work, but you were awesome in it, and I love that movie.
That's awesome.
Then,
we'll let him know. We'll tell him.
And then Greg Smith, $5. As Steven keeps moving around, is everybody else casing his place? Because he kept walking around. And then we had another tip actually from Myka that had come in from.
Fuck yes.
Where is it? From Robert Edwards, $10.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Excellent.
Thanks,
Thank you
man.
guys for all the support. That's wonderful.
Thank you so much. Is it
all right,
contest
cool.
time?
Yeah, let's do some contests. So first, let's read off some non-paid entries because I feel like there's gonna be a lot of them.
They're so good. I love this. This is gonna be my favorite contest. All right, so some of the non-paid entries: Chris Sanderson, Steve Hot Fudge Stetter.
Right, I'll take it. Although we did say celebrities, so instantly disqualified.
Greg Smith, Jessica Allbutter. Michael Stewart had Carol Baskin Robbins.
It's pronounced, Rachel, it's pronounced that bitch, Carol Baskin Robbins.
We actually, by the way, Jane Stewart threw in $5 on behalf of Michael to enter that one into the contest. Just a heads up.
Oh,
so that
cool.
one is a contest one.
Nice.
Okay, let me write this. Okay. I had Ashley had Jimmy Carrots. Jimmy Carrots.
Oh, nice, Jimmy Carrots. I like it.
And then I have a shit ton of paid entries.
Okay, let's do some paid.
Wait, hold on 1 second. Before the paid, can I do a few?
Yeah.
All right, I have just a few here for you guys. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm having quite a lot of tech problems today. I'd like to open up with Beyond Seder acai bowls.
What?
Beyond Seder. Okay, it's not my best.
But, Ben, you are breaking up, which is weird. I don't know.
Ben, I didn't understand the food or the celebrity in that whole thing. I couldn't hear any of it. It missed on, like, what was the food supposed to be and what's the celebrity supposed to be? I was missing the whole thing. I'm sorry.
Instead of Beyonce Knowles, Beyond Seder, like a little Jewish Passover reference. And then acai bowls instead of Knowles. Anyway, I got better ones.
Well, also it's Seder also, which is why it threw us because you said a word that doesn't exist. So
maybe if you explain it more.
Yeah, that's why I missed it. It's because he mispronounced Seder. That's why I missed it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Bowers' knowledge of Judaism is what prevented him from getting that.
Better ones. I have better ones.
Okay.
Give me a chance to redeem myself.
I mean, you'd have to.
Kim Kardashian of cayenne pepper.
You know what? I will be the first to say that was better than the last one.
An ingredient in a food, but okay, keep going.
Oh, tough. This is tough.
Robert Downey Jr. mints.
All right, I'll give you that one. I like
All right, there we go.
That's all right.
Tom Shanks.
Okay. I
Brad Pitted prunes.
All right. I'll give you that one.
Leonardo DiCaprio's.
What?
You know what, Rachel? Do we have any paid ones that we can go to the contest? If we can.
Yum Cruise.
Can you unvenmo people?
Anybody wants to send Ben a $5 Venmo request? Get that.
Julia Roberts, but strawberry flavored.
All right. We're gonna go to the contest now. So, but Ben, by the way, I gotta say, Ben, as a host of the show, you did such a wonderful job making our guests and our contest entries look so good. So I very much appreciate that.
Wait, seriously, before we go to the guests, I'm gonna end with my 3 best. And if they
Okay.
suck, then they suck. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Chew berries more.
All right. I'll give you that
All
one.
right.
Come on, that's a triple. Anyway,
Yeah.
doctor, fill up your stomach with pie. And my final one, Stephen Curry.
Thank God.
Stephen Curry, I like. Stephen Curry, I like.
Curry. His name is all right. We're
Winner, acai bowls.
You know what? It was the signal before. I didn't hear it the first time. The second time, it's quite funny. It's very, very good. Yeah, perfect. Okay, let's go to the entries. So,
real quick, so we had T. Lee White give a super chat and said it's a good thing Glebe isn't getting paid for this. Okay. Did we want to go to the entries?
All right, let's go to the entries. And by the way, Ellen Shaw just Venmo'd $5 and says, "Just kidding," but I don't know what you're kidding about. I'm assuming you said something about liking that first one from Ben, but I'm not sure. Context, I'm assuming. But yeah, Rachel is
banana.
It's
people are asking to mute Ben.
Yeah.
They said Glebe is having a Bowers night.
Love it.
Colin Leary super chatted and said for Ben to validate his parking.
That's amazing. That's hilarious. That is a good dart right there. That's a good dart.
All right. We got a bunch coming in on the Venmo. What do you got on the super chat?
Okay, so super chats. Nathaniel Crawford, Jody Bananas Foster. Jeremy Day, Vanilla Ice Cream.
Nice.
All right.
Jen Winklepleck. I couldn't decide on a total winner. It's between Brutus the Barber Cheesecake and Moose Tracksaw Jim Dungan. And then she also had Justin Timberlake.
Oh my God. Rachel.
Lacas.
I was trying to say it like his name.
All right.
I think it's really good that Rachel's job involves reading.
Yeah. Hey, Rachel, I gotta say, that is so charitable of you to see what Ben was just going through and be like, you know what? I'm gonna take the bullet. I'll do it.
Thank you, Rachel. So much, Rachel.
Notice Rachel's never told us what school she went to when she was a kid.
Cincinnati for the win. We have Nathaniel Crawford on behalf of Chris Sanderson, Mocha Fox.
Oh, nice.
Mocha Fox.
Look at that. Mocha Fox. That is actually Myka Fox's character in a blaxploitation movie.
Hold on. I'll come back in blackface in 2 seconds.
I was wondering if we'd be on the air enough. So, oh, look, Tim joined her. That's awesome.
Tim, you look bad no matter what. That looks worse.
All right, what else we got?
We have David Bridges, Scooby Dooby Jour.
I don't even like soup du jour.
Yeah.
Like Scoob du jour. All right, cool.
Scooby
We got one.
Jour. Nathaniel Crawford on behalf of Carrie, Reese's Pieces Witherspoon.
Oh, nice. Reese's
Okay,
Witherspoon. I like it.
Hold on. Don't say nice. I literally said Reese's Witherspoon.
Sorry, Ben, you cut out. I don't know what just happened.
Muted me.
Give it up for the fans.
We have
Johansson.
Nathaniel.
Just
That's a really
just,
good one.
Rachel,
Chocolate
just keep going, Rach. If you just want to.
We have Nathaniel Crawford on behalf of Ashley. Chris Pine Nuts. We have Chris Jacobs. Kevin Applewood smoked bacon. We have Teely White, Dr. Ken Young Ton Soup, like wonton soup.
Okay. It's Dr.
Ron Gould.
Yeah.
He said it's not the entry he's using, but he paid for it. Thomas Hazen Das Church.
Wait, Thomas Church, but how does the
Haden Das.
Oh, it's Hayden
Thomas
Church.
Hayden
It's Tom
Church.
Hayden Church.
Oh, Thomas
Church.
Hayden. Oh, so
Hayden
okay,
Church.
Thomas
Yeah,
Hagen
yeah.
Das Church. Okay, got it. I was so
I'm
confused.
just gonna,
I was like,
I'm just gonna say I really, really like that one.
yeah.
We have Razvan Mindru, Steve Hoff's Tater Tots.
All right. Like it again, disqualified, not a celebrity, but I appreciate it.
Chris Sanderson, I guess he had the Steve Hoff's fudge setter, but he said the tater tot one is better.
Nice.
Ron Gould, a steamed Hofstetter with a crispy Bowers reduction, finished with a fuck. I can't think of anything for Ben Glebe. Surely something Jewish.
That is solid right there.
We have Riverman. AG will come and collaborate for a Klondike bar. So AJ Bar.
Attorney General,
yes.
Attorney General William Klondike Bar. Yes, Attorney General.
Yeah, William Klondike Bar. Got it. All right, cool.
And then if you want to
one.
read some of the Venmos.
Okay, so we got some Venmos also, but I do want to throw. I'll throw in mine after the Venmos. I've got a couple as well. So let's see. Oh, I see what Ellen was kidding about. Ellen did send a $5 request for Venmo. It was not a donation. All right. So we've got a bunch. We've also got some generals coming in before I read some more. So $15 from Cameron Phillips says use this money to help Rachel try more foods. And then Jennifer Kovet throws in $5, says this is better than an ab workout. My fucking sides hurt so bad. Excellent. We appreciate that. And Cameron Phillips did throw in $5 for Ben's shitty celebrity puns, which was canceled out by Ellen's request. So we appreciate that.
Just like to say, I Tom Shanks you for that.
Yeah. And then we have that's general one. I'll do that later. So Daniel Graves threw in $10 and said Cold Stone Steve Hofstetter. So combining two of the games. Awesome. And then also got Cheryl Roper, who threw in $5, says love you, and then says Robert Brownie Jr. Nicely done. Very nicely done. All right, we've got
we had one more come in.
Oh yeah.
So Heather Scott on behalf of Rebecca H. Bernie Sandwich.
Nice.
Bernie Sandwich.
That's all I have.
Okay, cool. So now we vote. All right. So Myka, if you have a favorite, let us know. And also everybody vote in the comments on all of the platforms. You're watching on Facebook or Twitch or YouTube or live on the camera. Oh, did we have any? We've got a bunch from the live chat too. Are they? Yeah. They're not contest entries, but we'll read some of them right after. So we'll read some of these because some of these are great. So vote for your favorite. Myka, what's your favorite?
I did like them all unequally. I like that bitch Carol Baskin Robin, but I feel like that was a team effort.
Yeah, that was a solid one. Ben, what's your favorite?
That was a solid one. Is what happens after you eat that that bitch Carol Baskin Robbins.
I would say my vote probably goes to the. I just loved the creativity that went into Beyond Said or Acai Bowl.
Ben, I was gonna joke Venmo that to the show just to put that in there as Ben Glebe. I thought it'd be hilarious, but I couldn't fucking spell it or understand the fucking what it was, so I didn't.
No, but for real, my vote goes to whoever entered with Johnny Fun Dip. Oh, that's another one of mine. My mistake. That's another one of mine. My vote goes to Kevin Applewood Smoked Bacon. That was hilarious.
Yes.
By the way, Ben, you couldn't go with Beyond Satan? It's a food?
Nope. No, I could not.
All right, Powers, what's your vote?
I'm also going with Kevin Applewood Smoked Bacon, though I thought Mocha Latte or Mocha Fox was good, but Kevin Apple Smoked Bacon is mine. I like Applewood Smoked Bacon.
All right, I liked Mocha Fox. I liked Kevin Applewood Smoked Bacon. I like Jody's Banana Foster. There were a lot of great ones, but I'm going to vote. I think it's a tie right now, so we're going to let the comments break it because I'm going to vote for that bitch Carol Baskin Robbins because that one was awesome. So Rachel, what are the comments going with?
So I'm seeing a lot of like the Kevin Bacon, the bitch Carol Baskin Robbins, Chris Pine Nuts got a lot of votes. Robert Brownie Jr. was one that came in, but not a paid. Let's see in the participation chat.
So we got to break the tie between Kevin Applewood Smoked Bacon and Carol Baskin Robbins. So the crowd break the tie between those two. Everybody throw your votes in. And while you guys are voting, I'm just going to read off a couple more that I have. I've got now these might not make as much sense as Ben's, but I'll try. I've got Don Lemon Chicken.
I like that one.
Olivia Fig Newton John. Chicken Corbin Blue. No, I thought that one was decent. Demi Tomato.
That's pretty good.
I had Demi Moore Stew, which is close, but there you go.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of votes. I'm getting a lot of votes on my social media for Kim Kardashian of Cayenne Pepper. Brad,
it was a solid one. I would go with Leonardo DiCaprio.
The Carpaccio, you mean?
That was nice. Nicely done.
I mean,
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Hey, can I submit Bill Cosby's beef?
Yeah. he submitted his for sure.
Hey!
I was also going to go with Mandy S'mores.
Oh, that's a good one.
Larry King Crab.
Nice. Macklemore. No. And my favorite,
Macklemore. I would have voted for Macklemore. That's really
my favorite is Will I Ham.
Could not in a box.
What did you say?
I said I could not in a box.
Oh my God.
That's also what Bowers often says to the girlies with.
Yeah.
Will I ham or not in a box? I don't know which one that was a joke.
And before we announce the winner, I just want to throw one more in. Scone Rivers. Okay, everybody, let's decide on the. I'm not even going to let that one sit.
Steve, can we read some of the audience chat from the Zoom? Because we had a bunch of really funny ones, I thought.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Before we announce the winner. Yeah, what do we got?
I don't have them. I'm just saying.
Okay, cool. So we've got, these are, hold on, I got to scroll up because these are all votes here. So let me scroll up and scroll them all. Okay, so Carrie M says Chris Hemsworth. Nicely done.
That
Superman says Steve Martini and Rossi. Nice. Another one from Carrie M. John Candy Cane. Nice.
Superman.
And Ariana Grande Cappuccino. By the way, Angie, and I don't know if this was directly to that or just came after it in chat, says that joke hurts more in quarantine.
I like
Superman in our chat.
Go ahead, Ben.
What is it?
It was Eggs Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, that's a good
Nice.
one too. Whose was that?
Superman in our whose is that?
That one's
Harry.
Carrie's.
And Superman in our chat suggested Janine Garofalorio's.
Oh,
John
no.
Ham Sandwich and Jimmy Fallon Rye.
Nice. Also suggested Bruce Stringbean. So nice. Some really
Also
great
back
ones.
to a different contest, but Taylor wrote it in our video audience as far as horrible comedy bills, Chris Rock and Emo Phillips.
Yeah, that is amazing.
We had Emo Phillips in Dayton one time, and the MC said, "How would I describe you to people?" He goes, "Tell them I'm like an old Emo Phillips."
Rachel, what broke the tie? Who wins?
Yeah, so it is that bitch Carol Baskin Robbins.
All right,
Yeah,
Carol Baskin
nice.
Robin wins. The way you claim your prize is you can go to our website and click the email on the bottom at laughfromhome.com. So go to laughfromhome.com, click the email on the bottom, and send us that it was you and your identifying info. We will match it up with the contest entry, and then you will get all of the host albums as well as a future ticket to the front row. Tyler Stevens throws another $5, says, once again, thank you for an amazing show. BE throws in $36. Thank you. And says, just tuning in now for Stephen Ben. Chag Sameach means happy holidays. Says, and we got a plague and a shitty pharaoh. Is this the most immersed Passover ever? I think so. It feels like the true experience. And then we've also got Anastasia Common threw in $5 and gave me a fuck, marry, kill. It's a Steve themed fuck, marry, kill, which is Steve Rogers, Steve Trevor, and Steven Weber. Who's Steve Trevor?
I don't know. I guess you have to kill him. You can't marry or fuck somebody you don't know.
Oh, Steve Trevor is the character from Wonder Woman when they made like a super feminist movie and then they made her have to rely on a human that she fell in love with, like feminism. Fucking ridiculous. They were like, you go, girl. Oh, but this mortal man will save you. Because you need that. But anyway, I would God, I can't. I'm really glad you asked this once Steven Weber left. You know what? I would marry Steven Weber because he told me to go fuck myself, and I'm divorced, so I feel like that's normal. I would kill Steve Trevor because he's a fucking mortal person in a superhero movie. And then I would fuck Steve Rogers, just so I could say that it's for patriotism.
As long as you're doing the fucking, that's a good plan. If Captain America's doing the fucking, I think you trade some things around because that's not going to be good.
I would need the shield for sure.
Captain America destroys comedian.
Yeah.
It's the same joke I had with yesterday. I'm on a roll. This is great.
It's going to be a runner. I have a feeling that is going to be a running joke. Awesome. So
I've got some generals
you guys
that
were
come in.
wonderful. So let's catch up with anything else that came in.
Yep, just a couple more. So Greg Smith, $20 for everybody because this is truly an amazing gang of comedy. Most fun I've ever had seated in front of a computer. Okay, maybe not quite.
Sounds like someone likes solitaire.
Teely White at a last minute just wanted to throw in Spotted Dick Cheney.
Nice.
Earl Deary, $5. Hodana. And then Robert Edwards, $5. Raquel for you. So that's what we have.
Nice. Raquel, that is how she would pronounce her own name wrong. So perfect.
Fuck off.
Queen Raquel, do we have any more super chats?
Yeah.
We do not, prick.
Okay, and with that, you could have also said Beyond Flambe if you wanted to get closer to Beyonce. I'm just trying to help, Ben. You guys were absolutely awesome. Myka, tell the people where they can find out more about you, listen to more of your comedy.
Yeah, great. Follow me on social. I'm a beast on Twitter, and I'm also on Instagram at Myka Fox, MYKAFOX. Same for both. I've got a website coming soon, but social's where to find me now because you're not going to see me out at the clubs.
Excellent. And let's go to Bowers. Once again, congratulations, Bowers, on both your albums and that jacket.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, bowersalbum.com. So if we can do this another day, that'd be great. If we were number 1 tomorrow, that'd be amazing. So how about bowersalbum.com? Thanks to the links for iTunes and Amazon. And then, you know, can you do me a favor? Even if you download it on Apple Music or whatever, just leave a review. Throw a couple, whatever you feel like it is. Listen to it. If it's 3 stars, cool. But just leave a review and say, hey, it sucked or whatever you want to say. But yeah, leave a review. That helps it. The algorithm put it up in the rankings. So leave me a comment or a review or some stars. That'd be cool.
You can ask them for 5 stars. You don't have to be like that's pretty average.
No, I want to earn it. I want to earn those stars, dude. I don't want to. It's like when a server gives you the survey at the restaurant, like, make sure you give me all 5s. Oh, fuck off. So I'm gonna give you what
put up the sign like they have in the Ubers. Like, remember, this is my living. Please rate me 5 stars.
I'm trying not to be that guy. That's my point.
Yeah. Well, I will say, please give it 5 stars because that does help, and it is a 5-star album. So 1 star for each of Ben's stretch puns. So speaking of that, you guys know where to find me, but of course, go to nowherecomedyclub.com if you want to see me do some live shows. I'm hosting this weekend. I'm hosting 3 wonderful shows for Brett Druck, for Daniel Muggleton, and for Ida Rodriguez. And then I'm performing my own long show, the full length that I tour with, and that's going to be on Monday. And then Daniel Muggleton and I are going to be hosting a weekly Q&A show. So check all that stuff out, and more calendar coming soon at nowherecomedyclub.com. And with that, we gave him so much shit today, and he took it like a champ. He took it like an absolute champ, and then tried to pun about it. Ben Glebe, take us home.
Thank you very much, Steve. Thank you, Bowers. Myka, great having you. I'm not going to plug any of my projects today. I don't think it would do me any benefits. So, if that, and say thank you for being with us, Isolation Nation. Please do get Bowers' album, Unpopular Opinions. And we will be seeing you on Friday. And I'll just leave you with, you really underappreciated me on Chocolate Johansson. That one was really solid, and you guys are wrong. You can follow me on Instagram, as always, at ChewBerriesMore. And Twitter, of course, my Twitter handle, Beyond Seder Acai Bowls. Good night, everybody.
Everyone.